In this video, I want to tell you how you can outsmart the game of reality. I'm going to use the principles of self-improvement, spirituality, hermeticism, and simulation theory all wrapped into one, so you can stop playing as an NPC and start experiencing the game how it's supposed to be played. If you want to understand this fully, stay until the end. Now, simulation or game theory has become very popular in recent years. This is the idea that we are moving inside and a part of a simulation. Broken down to either molecular or a mathematical level, the three-dimensional substance we call matter exhibits all the same traits as computer code. And you can find the golden ratio everywhere in nature and in the human body. And while Big Bang Theory by itself doesn't really make any logical sense, because how can you get an explosion from nothing, right? But if you were to add that to simulation theory, the Big Bang would have occurred when the program or simulation booted up for the first time, set into motion by a creator, which would mean God was probably a computer nerd. Jokes aside, whether you believe in simulation theory or not, I want to show you how you can use it in your thinking to change your whole life and affect your reality, so you can experience more of what you want. The first thing that you need to understand is that there are rules to the game. Now, there's two versions of this. In the first version are the perceived rules of the game. This is completely three-dimensional thinking. In this school of thought, people will try to change an effect with an effect instead of the cause. And you will hear things like go to school, get a job, work extremely hard, pay taxes, get married, buy a house, have kids, pay off your mortgage and die. That's the full life cycle of an NPC. Here, you're playing the game as your character, completely oblivious to the fractal of God that you are, the individual consciousness that is really controlling the player in the game. And the second version of the rules to the game are what we're going to talk about in this video, which are the 7 hermetic principles. Understanding that you're connected to the universe and way more than the three-dimensional character you walk around as. And when you understand this, you can take off the VR headset, see yourself for the first time, and then put the headset back on. But this time, you're going to put in the cheat codes. Because you don't want your character to just run in the background. You want your character to experience more. Let's get into it. Welcome, click like and subscribe if you're not already. My name is Gavin. This is Life XP, my self-improvement YouTube channel where I help people change themselves and their lives. If you want to reach your mental and physical peak and manifest the life that you really want, all the links are in the description. Okay, to kick this off and help me explain it, I've created this little visual representation of the 2 schools of thought around the rules of the game. Now, every single statistic that you can think of is inside of these lines, okay? Think your relationships, your health and well-being, physique, finances, literally every single thing that you can think of, okay? Your mood, everything. Now, the first guy on the top, this guy is our NPC. Now, he has a poor attitude, okay? He has a poor mental state. He has poor habits. So he has poor pockets. And this guy, he only believes what his senses tell him. He has no idea how to play the game. He's just literally button bashing. He's low vibrational, okay, and he's very negative to be around. Now, the next guy, he grew up in the same place as the other guy. He went to the same school, he's worked the same kind of jobs, he's had a lot of the same experiences in life. But this guy, he uses his imagination. This guy, he says, you know what, this isn't what I imagined for myself, and if this isn't it, then it must be coming. Except he lives every day like he's already achieved his goal. And he does this until he sees it materialize in his world. On top of that, he lives high vibrationally, okay? He gets plenty of regular exercise. He eats good food so he feels good more often. He prays and he meditates every single day. He does things for other people. And this guy, he's happy generally on the whole, because he understands the rules of the game. He knows that he's not just a character, and he's an active participant in his creations. So let's talk more about the rules of the game, aka the Hermetic principles. Now the first rule, okay, is the law of mentalism. This is the understanding that the universe is mental. Okay, this is why I always talk about on this channel, if you want to change anything, you have to start with your mind first. Now in this rule, okay, you have to understand that the universe is mental. Okay, think of it like the imagination of God. Okay, and we have the same creative power, and we are a part of that. This is like the simulation, if you will. Okay, we are a part of this mind. We share the same creative power as it. The second rule is the law of correspondence. Now this kind of relates to the first rule, because as within, so without, okay, it corresponds. So as we are a part of this creation of the imagination, we have the same imaginative power that that creation has. So as within, so without. You need to understand that as you feel inside, that is what will reflect into your reality. Rule number 3 is the law of vibration. The goal to this is you have to feel good now. Feel good now. You have to do every single thing that you can possibly do to make yourself feel good now. Because when you vibrate at a higher frequency, you can attract higher frequency things into your world. The fourth rule to the game is the law of polarity. Okay, this basically means you can polarize yourself with any situation or emotion or thought to have it suit your benefit. If you grew up in an impoverished part of town, okay, you barely had food in the cupboard, you lived in an abusive home, you can use that as determination. You can say, do you know what, I had to overcome all of those things. You can turn that into a positive. That's the law of polarity. Rule number 5, okay, is the law of rhythm. You could put this as momentum, okay, but really it's talking about things having a tidal nature, okay. Think about the cycles in the moon, the tides of the oceans, okay. Everything has a natural ebb and flow, okay. It's like the changing of the seasons. You plant in spring and you reap at the end of the summer, okay. There's a process to this stuff. You have to understand that what you reap, you will sow, okay. It's part of the process. Rule number 6 to the game is you have to understand cause and effect. Every single thing that you do will have an effect, okay, positive or negative. You have to be very aware of this. Guy number 1, okay, in the diagram, you can see his lines all over the place, up and down, because he doesn't understand cause and effect. He doesn't have any consistency. He lacks consistency in the gym, so his health is always up and down. He eats crap food, so his, well-being is up and down. He doesn't pray or meditate, so his mental state is always up and down. He's got no control of his emotions. If he sees something that he wants and he decides to steal it without thinking, he's blind to the effects of that. He doesn't understand that he could go to prison, or he could get beaten up, or, he's just literally living oblivious. Every single thing that you do has an effect. And the last rule to the game is about the law of gender. Okay, now this is basically saying you shouldn't deny or suppress either side of your masculine or feminine traits. So say feminine traits, okay, will be like creativity, intuition. Masculine traits would be like being more dominant and assertive. You have to learn to use these traits together, okay? They work as a complementary system so that you can achieve more, so you can reach your full expression of potential and purpose. Guys, remember, it is your God-given right to be successful, and it's your responsibility to reach your potential.